Have you got a video out about that little stove you made?
No, I never made a video. I did this before I started my channel. Um, there's lots of good videos. Maybe I'll make a new one day. This one's not perfect for sure.
But just to know, that's called a Hobo Stove, made from a coffee can.
Hobo Stove, made from, I don't remember what it was, some kind of food. Maybe tomatoes or whatever.
Mm.
But I mean, the principle is basically you gotta have lots of ventilation. You know, you gotta have a big hole in the front. That's actually where you're supposed to be jamming the sticks. And then on top, you're supposed to have sort of like a lattice work of things to put a pot or something on top of.
Right.
Like the whole idea is to be able to like boil water or whatever, right? But I think something like this could be very handy in like a grid down situation, like a long-term thing. Like stuff like this will definitely come back into fashion big time. Because, you know, renewable fuel source.
It reminds me of those sort of films from the 80s where, sort of, say, New York or LA, and the guy would be going through a dark alley and you see all the homeless surrounding like a big garbage can with a fire made inside.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the challenge with this though is you got to get your wood like the appropriate size, and you got to find like a balance between feeding the fire to get it started and not having it like erupt out of the can at any kind of deal.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat challenging. Maybe I'll just let it go for a minute before I add more fuel. But the fuel burns so quickly in this because it's all like twigs, right? But,
It's making a huge flame though.
Yeah. Well, to cook or whatever, like I would let it like chill out for a while, but it's like once it gets going, eventually it builds up like a base of embers in the bottom of the can, and then you're good to go. You can sort of like leave it alone for a few minutes, come back, blow on it, and all that stuff.
Okay, let me come over and see how much heat you get from it.
You get a significant amount.
Oh, nice, especially with the smoke.
Yeah. Is it time for more fuel? Probably not
Probably.
yet. I'll wait till the flames die down a little. I did this at the house that I used to live at. It was like a shared house, and in the backyard there was like a wood bench, and I put the can on top of the bench. And then when I finished later with my fire, I looked underneath, there's like a huge black circle. So like the bottom of the can gets extremely hot, obviously.
How many fires do you think the can is going to last for? Like, is there going to be like a place or a time when it's going to just get melted away or something?
I don't know. It's a fair question. Like, it's definitely showing the signs of the fires that have been in it.
Yeah.
This is probably fire number 5 or 6 maybe, and it's still functional.
There was an episode with Dave and Cody where they're on an island, and Cody finds this old oil, like olive oil sort of can, and he makes a distiller out of it. And he says at some point, you know, like, I don't know how long this can is going to last before it comes apart at the seams. So he's indicating that the fire or the repetitive heat would actually be able to sort of destroy all the welded seams on the can.
Cody probably knows what he's talking about. I trust him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not one piece of metal, right? Like the bottom would be...
It's assembled, yeah.
But there is metal that goes in fires for like pots and stuff. Like if you bought like a manufactured pot from a store like Walmart and put it over the open fire, I think it would take a lot of fires before it finally destroyed the metal pot. But what's cool about this is like, even if it does destroy the can, you can always find another can, right?
Yeah. Bigger, smaller.
And I think that this could be a nice solution for backcountry things where you're like not allowed to have fires, right?
Yeah, you bring your own little stove with you.
Like technically speaking, this is contained within a structure or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, it's fairly safe. I mean, there's no fire on the ground per se.
Yeah, cool. But I find that it's just like any other fire. You can't really leave it alone when it's in its like infancy or whatever. You kind of have to keep feeding it for a few minutes at least. And this one, you can't ever leave it alone for like a long period of time because it will go out. Like this stuff is such a small diameter. It's not like a huge log you can throw on there for an hour or something, right? So it's a high maintenance fire, I suppose, but I don't know. It serves a purpose for sure. But you can really kind of like pile it all up kind of deal and just like leave it, and it'll start to burn up the fuel, and then the fuel will kind of like drop down into it as the bottoms get all charred or whatever. Yeah. Oh well, there she goes, eh?
Yeah.